Something we've said, we've been doing this podcast a long time now, is to abandon hope and just surrender to the game being in whatever state it's in, because it's never going to change. That has been our motto for 5 years, because all Activision and Call of Duty cares about is money. However, in this case, we are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot Call of Duty Podcast, episode number 486. We are back. My name is Case, also known as Razinon. Today, I'm joined by Tanner, who had a family giga emergency. His house burned down.
You have to stop saying emergency, man. You have to.
It was a giga emergency.
Bro has to stop putting out fake announcements, man.
And welcome to the show. So today, what we will be doing is a podcast. We're basically going to do a little Thursday, Saturday combo ep today. Mostly a Thursday ep, frankly. But luckily, now was a great week for Tanner's home to burn into ashes, to be reduced to ashes, as Bates would say, because not much happened, which was to be expected. Although a couple of things did happen, which we will get into now. As far as announcements, we may or may not have some. Stick around to the end of the show. So we got a patch. We got a couple of patches. And that's where we're going to start. Now, keep in mind, by the way, as Tanner pointed out in the Fire group chat, they hyped this patch up a lot. They wrote a whole 8 paragraphs on Twitter.
Yeah, let's find that tweet. It was Raven.
I believe it was Treyarch, yeah.
It was Raven, which is what you said.
That's exactly what I said, yeah. So
I've got it pulled
up here. Okay.
Did you find it, man?
I'll just read it. Yeah. So here's what Raven said on December 23rd. We went over this in extensive detail. It is 3 full paragraphs and 2 extra sentences long. So we approach the end of the year. We'd like to share some stuff we're going to do. Cheating remains our top priority. We're continuing to prioritize server performance and enhancing game stability across the board. We're closely examining reported audio inconsistencies, lighting and visibility concerns, K-band functionality, irregular UAV behavior, and discrepancy with contracts. Many of these improvements will ship shortly after the holidays. In the meantime, we wish you a joyful holiday season. Okay. So we got 2 patches. The patch addressed, spoiler alert, almost none of these. So one of them is about cheating. Absolutely nothing has been done about the cheaters. Still lots. Let's see. Server performance and game stability has actually gotten worse, if you can believe it. It's not the same. It's certainly not improved. Shipping shortly after the holidays, by the way. It's actually worse now. 50% of the games that we tried to play of Publix this morning, someone would be stuck on a loading screen and then be forced to force exit the application. And then we would have to all back out and re-queue, which was a problem I had only experienced in ranked play before this update. But now I'm also experiencing it in Publix, on Urzikstan, and on Rebirth Island. And I'm also the gulag's still fake. I'm still dying behind walls every death. No deaths are my fault. The game is the only person that's ever killed me.
Okay, Desmond.
Server performance is worse now, or is the same now, and game stability is worse now, because now I'm crashing all the time. I wasn't before.
Interesting.
And this is what I was afraid of, by the way, with this update. I said, I kind of want them to update the game because it's unworkable right now, but I'm also nervous they're going to make it actually worse, in fact. And they kind of did. So that's another thing. Let's see. Key updates to movement for increased fluidity. That's good. They did do something with that. We'll get into it. Resolve numerous issues with perks and challenges. Nothing. Combat record, we still don't have. Revive mechanics, they still have not addressed any of those concerns. Audio, lighting, visibility, KBAM, irregular UAV behavior, and discrepancy with contracts, none of those. So I don't know if this is just another little wink and nod, gaslight, lie by omission, where they say many of these improvements will ship shortly after the holidays.
Yeah, many is not the word.
Does that not mean
to
the
use
Friday
there.
patch?
Yeah, many. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. The last holiday was really Christmas, but we can say New Year's, I guess. That was Wednesday. It is now Saturday. And almost none of these things have happened. So we get a patch on Monday. Maybe that's shortly after. Meh. So let's get into those patch notes. So again, spoiler alert, they suck ass and are bad. But here we go. So Friday, January 3rd, starting with multiplayer / zombies. Increased all mantle speeds. Wow. Oh, and here's another thing I think they had mentioned in that tweet. Doors can now be opened and closed while sprinting.
I honestly think that's
fucking do.
They're doing stuff, man. They're doing a lot.
So I'm fine with this if you also do a lot of other things on top. It's fine, but I mean, where are our priorities?
Also,
I will say though, the increased all mantle speeds, I'm pleased to report and shocked about, is real and true. The mantle speeds are noticeably faster now. That's real, finally, because they told us last time that they increased all mantle speeds. They didn't. Now they actually have, which is cool. I would say I'm about happy with the mantle speeds now. So that's a good thing. I interrupted you though.
No, it's really pushing it though that we're putting the doors can now be opened and closed while sprinting in the movement category. That's really pushing it there, guys. I'm not quite sure about that. Yeah. That should actually be a bug fix because it's never worked that way in the game until this integration. So that should be in the bug fix. There, I fixed it. Don't put it in the movement category. So that's what they were saying in that tweet where they were like changes to movement. Because this will help with engagements a lot. That's also what they said in that tweet. It'll help engagements feel more smooth. They said some dumb shit. Anyways, yeah, cool.
Some guy is absolutely railing me through 8 walls because he's blatantly aimbotting and wall hacking. But I can close the door so that I can get ripped apart immediately as I close it while I'm trying to run away desperately for my life. Got it.
So maybe you can't shoot through doors. That would kind of line up with how bad the game is. You can shoot through a concrete house ×3, but you can't shoot through a metal door. I wonder.
That's possible, yeah. Doors do appear to be shoot openable still, but I could be wrong. Who knows? So anyway, whatever. There's a new cleaver melee weapon.
Okay.
Available via event rewards. We'll get into that, but it's fine. It's a gun, or not a gun. It's a weapon. You get it. Let's see.
Fixing some bugs related to weapon blueprints. A bunch of shit that costs money.
Doesn't matter. Like Giga doesn't matter. And okay, so now multiplayer. Red light, green light is a new multiplayer mode, which I guess is tied to the Squid Game's Netflix television series.
The shrimp game, yeah. The shrimp match.
I have not watched it because I do not speak Korean. So I can scarcely read, so I can't turn on subtitles either. So that's out for me. However, I guess this is related to that game or show. Red light, green light.
That's what they're saying.
The interesting thing about it, right? Swag was playing this LTM just trying to unwind and have some fun. The light turns, what was it?
Oh, green.
Okay, the light's red and he's at a dead stop. The light turns green. And you guys have played red light, green light before, I'd imagine. If you haven't, you go on green and stop on red. So anyway, he stopped. The light turns green. He waits for 3 entire Mississippis, starts going. The light remains green. Game kills him. I guess the game thought it was red.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of bugs related to this.
Nothing in the game functions. I mean, nothing. They've even fucked up their LTM. It's unconscionable. It's so bad. So I have not dared try playing this, obviously.
Yeah.
But if I died to a bug in red light, fucking green light, a game that preschoolers can play, by the way, right? I would completely crash out. I wouldn't have a functioning computer monitor now. So anyway, that doesn't work. Cool. Pentathlon, not reading it. Probably doesn't work. Squid Game Mosh Pit also probably doesn't work. Prop Hunt. Improve spatial audio on prop whistles. At least we have our priorities perfectly synced up with what is actually important in the game. We don't. Other things, whatever. The new high roller wild card, which allows players to equip up to 4
I forgot about
streaks. I had been excited about that. Not that I would necessarily use it. It also may or may not work because, again, I will never, ever again trust any patch note until I've expressly tested it myself. So this may or may not be in the game. I don't know. Some score streak changes, whatever. Some UI stuff. And then reduce the range of emote sound effect audio. Okay. And then zombie stuff as well. Mostly Citadel Des Morts.
Yeah, apparently it was pretty buggy. Oh, yes, and they nerfed a bunch. That's what I also heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. We won't be reading any of it, but yeah, it needed a lot of work. It may or may not have gotten some work. It looks like that it did, but I don't know. So there you go.
Well, the zombie team is the only team working. Look at these. Look at everything under main quest, like addressing issues.
Yeah, they're writing words. Yeah,
they're working and writing words. Wow.
Of all the game modes in this game, zombie seems to be the best right now. So, don't know. But anyways, moving on from that. Lots of zombie stuff.
Yeah, they did a lot of changes. All I know is somebody in the zombies Discord channel was complaining about how they nerfed everything and they were all pissed. I think it was Spidey because there are two people left in the zombies channel.
I believe we are going to get into. Yeah. So, but we won't talk about that through these patch notes. So that's that. Now on to Warzone. So multiplayer for all of its, well, multiplayer didn't get much based on those patch notes. However, my understanding is by and large multiplayer worked fairly well. And the big problem with it wasn't so much that it was very buggy, but rather that it was absolutely infested with cheaters, specifically in ranked. That was not addressed, but besides that, it didn't need too much more attention as far as I understand, so whatever. Now, however, big however, we will get into the Warzone patch notes, and unlike multiplayer, Warzone, prior to this update, scarcely functioned fucking at all. So they talked about a lot. We went over that Raven tweet. Let's go into exhaustive, granular detail on every single thing they've done, and I bet it's a lot.
Yeah.
Friday, January 3rd.
Take a deep breath.
Note, some players may see their operator selections and operator customizations reset after this update. Here's what happened to me. My operator did reset. That's fine. It said it was going to happen once. I changed it. It reset again. Cool. Still can't change it. Also my calling card and also my emblem and my clan tag also, because nothing fucking works. Nothing in Warzone works. So right out of the gate, shit's ass. Events. Here we go. Squid Game, new LTM.
Fun.
I will be reading this actually. Win it all or die. Trying a Squid Game arrives in Call of Duty original sign. Introducing a new in-game event stacked with themed rewards and multiple LTMs that don't work, as we've gone over across multiplayer zombies and Warzone. Plus, new Squid Game bundles bring the pink guards, VIPs, and young he into the fight, and I know what those things are. Zip up your green tracksuit and earn XP in multiplayer zombies or Warzone to earn rewards in our new Squid Game event pass and prove your standing as a top contestant. Here's the good part. The Squid Game event pass is free for all players, and the premium track will be available for 1,000 and also 100 Call of Duty points. Wow.
Yeah.
just incredible.
Paid event.
A paid event, the likes of which we have never seen before, and I'm not joking. We've had, obviously, the paid track on the Battle Pass and the free track. I'm actually okay with that. It's a free-to-play game. They got to make money somehow. But they've never done it for LTMs before. Now, hot take, I don't really care if the game fucking worked. You want to do an LTM?
Yeah.
Give us free shit attached to the LTM, as you've always done with the LTMs, and then also add extra shit and make people pay for it. In a function, if Fortnite did that, I would pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'll say. Because Fortnite fucking works. But in this game, this isn't a scummy thing to do inherently, in my opinion. But stop doing anything until the game works. And it's only gotten worse, in fact. That's my real issue with this. Not so much that there is a paid track. One thing, though, kind of actually asterisk, on the paid track, once you finish it, the paid operator skin, guess what it looks like, chat? I want you to imagine what a paid operator skin could possibly look like in this game.
All
Any
black.
guesses? It is fucking all jet black. Yeah. So it's another pay to win skin. And they think they're slick. They think we have not caught on to this. Hey, buddy, we've been paying attention for 5 years. I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. All these jet black skins happen to be black cell skins or bundles that you have to pay for, or now part of a premium LTM track.
Yeah.
How many jet black free-to-play skins are there in Warzone?
Yeah.
I don't know any.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know 0. Meanwhile, there's Black Noir, there's the whatever, the point guard or whatever his name is. I don't know what it's called. There are probably some other ones. Jet Black, pay to win. That bugs me a little bit. But the problem really with that is the game has bad lighting and visibility in buildings. So
really bad.
I mean, if they just made that better, then black skins wouldn't matter. Like, I never didn't see someone in MW3 late. Even if they were using an all black skin, it was virtually never an issue.
Having an event that costs COD points is totally fine. I think it, because you have the free track and then you have the premium track. That's totally fair. But it's just the timing and the marketing they put out when the game is a fucking disaster is a horrible, horrible look. That's what it really comes down to. And I wish this event would be a massive failure, but unfortunately, you guys, including you idiots listening, are stupid, and you're probably all buying the premium track, you're buying these bundles, and they're going to see how great the sales are. This would be, like, I feel like the Warzone community has never been more together in terms of trashing the game right now, because it's affecting everybody. If you're bad at the game and you don't run into cheaters, you should be running into bugs. If you're good at the game, you're running into everything. If you're that bad at the game and experiencing nothing, that's cool. It's there. I guess you just can't realize it's there, but trust me, you're experiencing a lot of bugs and issues with the game.
Yeah, right. Exactly,
So it's just affecting everybody. So I mean, we should be taxing this hard. If you guys bought any of this, you should be sending $30 at a minimum to us, because you're a disgrace if you buy any of these skins right now.
Do not buy the premium track.
This event should be a massive failure. Unfortunately, it probably won't be.
It won't be, no. And you might be thinking, oh, but Raz and Tanner, I have lots of COD points banked. Can't I just spend them since I won't have to whip out my wallet? No! Don't do that. Save your COD points for if and when the game gets good again, because they care about those metrics. So you need to speak with your wallet. Don't do it. If you do, give us money. So do it and then give us money. Anyways. Squid Game on Warzone is a new LTM. Haven't played it. I don't know. Whatever. There is red light, green light in it. So, which didn't work for swag. So yeah, cool. It's bugged. Don't play it. Movement. All mantle speeds have been increased. Doors can now be opened and closed while sprinting. This is true as well. Like I said, super don't care about the door thing. No one should, but the mantle speeds are pretty good now. Maybe they could be a tiny bit faster, but that's nitpicking at this point. I think it's okay. And if you make the mantle speeds too fast, then trying to shoot at someone else who is mantling lots becomes very jarring. Like we did have that issue with in MW3's iteration of Warzone. So I think the mantle speeds now are like pretty good. And this is actually real and true. How long will it last is a super good question, but for now, enjoy it.
Till the next patch.
Right. Next is an interesting change. A good change overall. Here's what it is. Wildcards Battle Ready. So Battle Ready is a wildcard in Warzone. And the strat was you would get your whatever first loadout that had Gunfighter on it. So you'd get a Giga Extreme M4. And then when you hit second loadout, you would get a loadout that had an SMG and the Battle Ready wildcard, because it would give you a UAV and a utility box. And if 3 people or more were on your Warzone team and you hit that at the same time, you get an advanced UAV for free. And also, if you're playing ranked Warzone, for example, you can spend 12.5K for a loadout and then get an advanced UAV by all hitting your Battle Ready loadout. Or you could spend 18,000 to get an advanced UAV that does not come with a free loadout, utility boxes, etc. So obviously, this was a poorly thought out wildcard, and they have now changed it. Replace the regular UAV with a supply UAV. So
that's one way to do it.
One way to do it. This is a step in the correct direction. The destination for wildcards is to remove them, frankly, get rid of them. However, if you're not going to do that, which they of course won't, you did need to nerf Battle Ready, and this is a way to do it that I think I'm okay with. If I thought about it for maybe 5 minutes, certainly if I had 40 hours a week like it was my full-time job, which ostensibly is in fact the case for the people who changed this, I could have thought of something better to do, to be clear.
Yeah.
Because the supply UAV is utterly useless. So now this is dog shit trash. Dog shit trash. I kept my Battle Ready loadout because I can imagine a scenario where I really just need plates and ammo. And I'm only hitting this for the utility box, obviously, because who needs a supply UAV by the time they're getting their loadout? Ever. No
yeah,
one ever.
it's an easy, quick fix that they thought of that it'll stay this way now, because it's like, oh, let's just change it out. Instead of a regular UAV, it's real easy for us to just swap this to a supply UAV, so we're going to do that without putting any thought into it, which temporarily is fine, but yeah, I mean, I would love to see wild cards removed entirely.
Yeah, it is the exact same energy as when they nerfed the Kilo by just adding a new damage range, so it was utter dog shit, and they never changed it back. Mm-hmm. Just the laziest Band-Aid, this is too good, we want to make it bad.
Yeah.
And then they'll never look back. That's exactly what this is. Exact same thing.
So what have you guys been doing for loadouts? Are you guys still using... Oh, okay. I was... Because, I mean, you could still run this even just to get the utility box. It might kind of be worth it if there's a free loadout sitting there, but...
Yeah, I have it set up. I have not had occasion to hit it yet, though.
Yeah.
Like I'd always, by the time I'm hitting second loady, I virtually always have ammo and plates, and I would much rather get bandolier because I'll get more ammo capacity and more equipment capacity. So I have 4 stims and 4 impacts now. That's almost always better. Like, again, I can think of a scenario where I really need plates and ammo, probably like plates, but it hasn't come up yet. So, and I've been playing a lot since this episode.
So now instead of UAV spam, everyone's going to be running bandolier too. So now we're going to be running into constantly nade spam, and then they're going to find a way to nerf that.
Spam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which seems like it's only getting worse, right? So they have a lot of work to do. They have so much work to do on this game.
They're just farther.
They're very far. Yeah. Honest to God, they might have to delay Verdansk.
I really hope they do.
Because I mean, we're like probably
to be a good
we're
launch.
probably about 60 days out or so now, 60 to 90 days out at the most, and they've done almost nothing to improve the game. Like they haven't even started to think about things like bullet pen, What's going to happen with that? There are so many like core issues they have to fix. And then bullet pen has been a major issue this whole time. What are they going to do about that? There's just things they haven't touched on at all that are just glaring problems.
Yeah. Massive glaring problems. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Here's another funny thing, by the way. The text description for Battle Ready will remain incorrect until season 2.
That is the biggest classic you can imagine.
This, I almost can't believe it.
This is...
What, do you not have time to write? All they have to do is go into the description and type SUPPLY space. Done. That's it. That's all they have to do. It would have, in fact, been faster to do that. That would have been fewer letters to type. Then the sentence, the text description will remain incorrect until season 2. It can't be that hard. I just refuse to fucking believe it would be that hard.
This has to be some sort of little peek as to what is going on behind the scenes, because obviously there is some reason they can't change a UI description with an update like this. Like, it needs to be tied to a major update. Why? Why is your game built and designed that way that you can't push a small UI text description update but yet in that same update you can increase something like like mantle speeds, but you can't change text description.
Yeah, it doesn't make
These
sense.
are the things that I would love to understand how they operate behind the scenes, because how is that possible? And if it's not possible, again, without pushing a major update, something is seriously wrong with the groundwork of the shit game you designed, because that's just sad. That doesn't make any sense.
There's no explanation that's acceptable for this.
I read that. This was my favorite part. I was like, they can't even change the text description. What is wrong with them? Please, what is wrong with them? Fuck, they're bad. And you know what the sad part is? All of these devs are probably hanging out with their family at Christmas, and they're all talking, oh, yeah, I work on Call of Duty. And everyone's like, oh, that's so fun. They're like, yeah, we just pushed the new game live, and they're talking themselves up. Oh, my God, dude. If that was my family member, I would just take him in the garage and put a 45 right in the back of their head, I think. Just get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ.
I would drug his wine. Yeah, 100%.
They're proud of it. That's the worst part. They're probably proud of this.
I would grind up lots of ibuprofen, put it in his wine, and watch him die by stomach bleeding, which is incredibly slow and painful, by the way. Oh,
and there's the monetization.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, whatever.
Devs for UI still on vacation. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's a different department that's not back from to work yet.
Oh, what? It's just, it's like to be clear, I don't care that the text description will be wrong until season 2. Like, that doesn't matter at all. But it's just the knowledge that they have to delay that part of the change. Why? Like, what is going on? Yeah. Something's rotten in the state of Activision is what I always say.
It's called every dev that works there.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Ultimately, though, again, now let me be clear. I have not gotten Battle Ready, so I can't confirm that you don't in fact get a regular UAV. Oh, hidden patch note.
It probably shows as a supply UAV, but you pop it and it's a regular UAV.
It's an actual
That's
UAV,
my guess.
No. That's probably not true, because we definitely would have heard about that if that were the case. But I'm 95% confident this is true. I'm not 100% though. So anyway, yeah, that was definitely the best part of the patches. Yeah. So weapons cleaver is available, and now bug fixes. I'm sure I'll read every single one. Fixed an issue allowing players to gain the benefits of the battle ready wildcard while grabbing a loadout with a different wildcard. Meaning an 8 attachment gun, and you would get battle ready. This may or may not be true. Don't know. Fixed an issue causing enemy parachute opening sounds from occluding properly, making it seem enemies parachuting are closer than they were. Okay, this one, I was real nervous when I read it. Real nervous. Because I went from, I thought to myself, I'm not going to hear a parachute again for another 5 years. This is a disaster. I'd rather it be too loud than too quiet, and they're gonna overcorrect. That didn't happen. What I'm also skeptical about is if anything at all happened actually to the parachute audio, because it does not sound very different to me at all. I mean, I still hear parachutes a lot and from far. Now, again, if there was a change, it's possible there was a change and I can't tell because it's not that big of a change. Or it's possible this is just another lie. That's probably the more likely case because they've lied a lot. Every single, like I said, every single patch they've lied to us. But if it did actually change, then they didn't overdo it, and I'm pleased to hear that.
Yeah, because I assume this is talking about how you would hear a parachute, and I'd be like, it sounds like this guy's jumping off the roof right above me, but then you'd look around, and you'd finally find the person, and they'd be like actually 200 plus meters away. So that's good if they reduce some of that, because if they're that far away, don't make it sound that loud. I don't want to know at that point.
Yeah, it's
like,
definitely
when I have to search and do a whole 360 looking everywhere for that parachute that's that loud, I don't need that audio in my ear, honestly. Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
So if that's a little bit better, that's good. And you can still hear the parachute. It sounds like a win-win.
You definitely can still hear them, which is the best news. So yeah, hopefully that remains the case. Yeah. Fixed an issue preventing players from using an advanced UAV after already calling one in during the match.
There's a bug fix.
May or may not be fixed. I mean, yeah, if true, that's a good thing. I can't confirm it though.
That was on the list.
Fixed an issue preventing controller players from using a kill streak if it is not appearing on the HUD. I've never run into that issue before, so that may or may not be true. Fixed an issue preventing players from dropping stacks of $500. I think they actually did fix this, which is good. Because it used to just drop like all your money, regardless of the button you pressed. Which is actually quite relevant. So that's good. Fixed an issue preventing spawn protection on Rebirth, K. Fixed an issue preventing the exfil animation from playing in ranked, K. I've never seen that because the only people exfil animating are cheating, so I don't know what that's like. Fix an issue that could kick players out of a match when leaving a chat channel. Got it. And that's it. And that's all. That's all.
So out of these, there are what, 2 of them that were meaningful, essentially?
So there were 2 meaningful things in my opinion.
The advanced UAV was a big problem, but
that's 3 then. Yeah.
That matters far less now with the nerf to battle ready without getting UAVs
exactly.
from it.
Also true. Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, still good they fixed it. That's been a big one.
If true, that's a good thing. Yes. So all mantle speeds being increased, good change. Battle ready nerf, good and needed change. And advanced UAV, if true, good change. Dropping stacks of 500 being possible again, good change, actually is true. Is it enough? No. Fuck no. And also, again, what did they say in their tweet? I mean, cheaters, they talked about, they did nothing. They didn't even say they did anything. Server performance, game stability got worse as we went over. Perk imbalance, challenges, nothing. Let's see. The combat record is still not in the game. And then lighting and visibility concerns, they've done nothing. Audio inconsistencies, they've done nothing. KBAM functionality, they've done nothing. So why yap about all that and then not do any of it?
I mean, I didn't even expect...
Delete the tweet.
Yeah. I didn't expect a lot, but then since they put that tweet out that said many of these improvements will ship shortly after the holidays, and then we found out there was the Squid Game event coming, and I was like, oh, this is probably actually going to be a pretty major update. Because there's a new event coming, which is weird because they haven't been at work, but I guess, I don't know, they did things before they left and just didn't put it live yet. I don't really know. So I guess it's our fault for thinking that this meant shortly after the holidays. So, I mean, the rest of this better be coming by like next Thursday at the latest. Otherwise, don't say it's
absolute latest.
Shortly after the holidays.
Exactly. Totally agree.
Like now I'm expecting things like perk rebalancing next week. So is that actually going to happen? Probably not. So don't tweet about that if you're just going to lie to us.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just that simple. And there are still so many problems.
That's a good point from Absolute. We didn't even get the various server improvements that they usually tack on that they put in every single patch notes.
Oh,
yeah,
that they
didn't even throw that in there.
Yeah,
You're right. They didn't even feel like lying this time. Like, no, that would be too much of a lie. We're going to leave that out.
Well, good, because they certainly didn't improve the servers at all. I can promise you that. So, yeah. And that's it. So, I mean, what do we still have? Quick fix still doesn't heal you. You still swap to your pistol out of the water if you had it knife equipped when you got out of the water. Now that I know that, I don't die to it anymore. But, I mean, if you don't play all the time, that will get you killed because you'll forget it's a thing. Man, I mean, I'm skipping a lot. UI still shows the incorrect amount of money. Shown weapon rarities on the ground are still wrong often. Loot falls through the walls, grounds, floor often. I still come out of the gulag and my lethal is a shock charge, which interestingly isn't a lethal at all, actually. That's a tactical. I mean, nothing works. Like, nothing works. Blueprint, 5 attachment guns still cost $6,000 at the buy station. That's another one.
And that they've tried to fix 5 times.
You will instantly start parachuting, which is not ideal.
Yeah.
And in fact, got me killed today, which was neither fun nor exciting. Or no, not today. I'm sorry. Yesterday, I think. There are so many bugs with this game that are way more meaningful than the things they've changed that it's just like unbelievable. But if they can't even fix like the text for a wild card, then I don't know, man. I don't know. They're just out to lunch. And now on to hidden patch notes. Remember, guys, when they said that they disabled live pinging in ranked Warzone? It's back. You can now once again live ping in ranked Warzone. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a classic.
Not intended, obviously. They said nothing about it, and it was probably just an accident. How do you accidentally enable something again? Don't know. Obviously, the devs don't either.
Yeah.
The game just doesn't, no one is there. There's no, I don't know. I'm going to get into my theory at the end because there's a lot more just utter fucking dog shit to talk about. But yeah, I mean, just crazy. And I'm sure there are a lot of other hidden patches that, there we go. I'm sure there are a lot of other hidden things that happened that we're not aware of yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll get to them. So anyway, you got a lot of other stuff to talk about.
Oh boy.
Some more things from COD
All
and
good
then
things.
a lot on the news side. And if it sounds like we're crashing out, we are, and so is everyone, which we'll get into in a moment. But yeah. Oh, you already had it down. Yeah. The most recent update briefly re-enabled live pings in ranked play. COD updates tweeted yesterday. They should once again be disabled. That
Classic.
may or may not be true. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So cool. Let's see. Oh, here's another thing. So the Squid Game LTM, it has the, you know, the free track and the premium track. And one of the things you can get is a finishing move in the premium event pass. So this is the one you pay for, by the way. Can anyone guess what I'm going to say next?
It doesn't work.
Fucking work. Yeah, it doesn't work. Shocker. So the animation will play, and then the guy will just be standing man. Super
He's just
not
alive.
Dead, actually.
Yeah.
He's in fact alive.
Bug.
He's in fact alive. Because nothing works.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing functions in the game. They have to stop doing new things. They have to. I don't know what's going on. So for the camo grind, as Jakin said, this would be good. Because you can just like get someone one shot and then they come pop back up, I guess. But yeah, it just doesn't work. So, and Charlie Intel added, a paid finishing move remains broken in game with no acknowledgement on fix yet from the devs.
Yeah.
That was tweeted today.
Yeah.
Which is still the case.
This has been broken since yesterday when the update went live. And this is something you paid for and it's still busted. Yeah.
Something you've paid for. Yeah. Idiot.
And it won't be fixed till like Tuesday or Wednesday. You do actually.
If you paid for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway, evidently some content creators had been flew out to, no one's going to get that. I don't know, some dev studio or Activision HQ or something.
It was like New York or something, I think.
New York. I don't know. To whatever, test the Squid Game thing. So people, I guess, were talking about it's going to be paid. We don't know how much. Oh no. And then finally Charlie Intel's like, now we know it's going to be 1,100 COD points. And I guess some people are upset at content creators or Call of Duty for having a paid event. I guess we've kind of already talked about this. I mean, if the game was functioning, I have no problem with this.
I think it was more that they released the blog post and they didn't say how much it would cost, because that was the start of Kashav's crash out. He started tweeting things like, where's the price? How much is it? Like stuff like that. And then they ended up deleting some tweets that had linked the blog post and then made a new tweet with a new blog post link. And then that one said that the premium track costed COD points. So I think that's why people were mad, is because they were kind of like talking about some event and then it turns out there's a paid part of it. But again, people wouldn't be this mad if the game wasn't in a disastrous state. So
yeah, that's true. So I don't know. I think that.
And again, I don't have an issue with this being a paid event. It's just really bad timing and a bad look to market it to the extent that they did.
That's the problem. They should have just delayed it. Just delay it. Like fix the game only for this update or whatever. But whatever. And also, yeah, if content creators were invited out there, Tanner and I were talking about this before the show started. I haven't seen anyone like ragging on any, streamers or whatever for going out there. But if they were, I would say, depends on who the content creator is. So the example I use, like if you're Swag, like that guy's huge, right? And he gets invited and he just says, I'm not going in protest because the game is just too broken right now. That's fine. That's good. That's a good thing. I like that I would like if he had done that. But he also is going to get invited next time, always. He's really big. Whereas if it was, some very small time content creator, and maybe it's their first invitation, I don't expect them to stand on principle and not go. Like, yeah, they should go. Like, I would go. You know what I mean? I might bring some Molotov cocktails with me, but I would go. It's hard to pass that up. I get why maybe you'd be mad at, again, someone as big as like Swag or something for going. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. Although I do think it's based if you just said, I'm not going in protest. I think it's based if you did that. But if you didn't, I don't think it's that big of a deal. You're not really... I don't know. I mean, I could make an argument that like you shouldn't have gone, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Let's keep our anger razor focused on where it should be, which is not content creators. It's the goddamn devs and the publisher. They're the real culprits and where you should be directing your anger. So Anyway, another tweet. This is from Treyarch. This is a tweet on the 2nd, 2 days ago. Zombies PSA directed mode for Citadel Des Morts launches January 3rd at 9 a.m. But don't worry if you haven't earned the early completion rewards yet. We've got some main quest bug fixes coming with this update as well. So we're extending the deadline to the end of season 1. Okay. So evidently the main quest was giga bugged.
Classic.
For zombies. And the way, if you do it before directed mode comes out, you get a calling card that becomes unobtainable as soon as directed mode does launch. But it was so buggy apparently that a lot of people just couldn't do it because it was too bugged. So they are now allowing you to even get that exclusive calling card up until the end of season 1, pending the bug fixes that supposedly launched yesterday. Good change, good idea. But also, I guess zombies is also buggy and ass now too. L.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I haven't played zombies.
I don't remember hearing
or whatever, so I don't know. But
yeah, I don't remember hearing any issues about the quest when it came out or anything, like bugs, like people being unable to complete it. But
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of because I only played that map one time, so I don't know anything about how like the wonder weapon and all that stuff works. So is that related to like building the swords, or is this a different? Maybe this is more like the boss fight, the ending. I would assume
you have to build the swords to do the quest.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah,
so, whatever.
Map sucks. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the map, but yeah. So moving on from that, we have a couple other things here.
That's another great point, by the way. The stupid calling card for completing it early is so dumb. It just has like a stupid little icon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's whatever. Okay, that's already in there. Okay, so on the topic of zombies as well, Treyarch has intentionally nerfed BO6 Zombies Directed Mode with the new update. That was probably in the details that we skimmed over. They've expended the times in rounds and delayed zombie spawn rates, which is resulting in players unable to grind for camos in this mode now. Evidently, if you were doing the zombies camo, the strat was to do directed mode because it would cap the number of like zombies, so you wouldn't have just a bunch of manglers or whatever.
Yeah, it was
I don't know exactly what the strat. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the strat was, but there's no fun allowed, so Treyarch has nerfed it. I hate this a lot. I hate it a lot. This is not... The reward is a camo. It's a cosmetic reward in a game mode that is not competitive. You don't even shoot at other people in it. Why do we need to nerf this? Let people have fun. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
And now they've nerfed this. So now they have to fight 1,000 manglers again or whatever. So now people are mauling about this too, as they should be. I think it's cringe when you nerf things in like, you know, a single player.
In a PvE mode, yeah.
Or PvE, I should say, yeah. Game. Especially for a cosmetic reward. Like, who cares? Let people farm the directed mode. So, this sucks. I'm not going for the camo, so it doesn't affect me personally, but I think this is a bad change and a bad look. And again, everything just stings a lot worse when the game is so broken. Like the premium track and the pay-to-win operator skin and the finishing move not actually killing the player. All of these things and this sting a lot more when the game is also just in complete and utter shambles.
Yeah.
It really stings a lot more. So,
I don't really have much of an opinion. It's kind of like the thing you were saying with Plunder, though. Like, it's the cheese way to do it. So it's like when you see people with a camo now, it's, you know, it's usually like, oh, these people just cheese the directed mode and it makes it easier rather than, I don't know, actually grinding for it. So it is kind of dumb, but like ultimately, I don't really care about this. I kind of think almost it's more fair, but since it's just for something cosmetic, it really doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm not mad about them doing this, though, at all. I think it's fine. Zombies players deserve it, and they deserve worse, so.
Okay. Anyways, moving on from that. I don't know what this is. We have a tweet from Breadman. What am I looking at here, buddy?
Oh, so now this section now is kind of just what I like to call fun stuff. We kind of did like a little bit of stuff, Twitter roundup here, stuff like that. And a lot of it is the Kashav crash out, Charlie Intel losing his mind on Twitter yesterday. So we're going to start with this one because I had liked this tweet.
What about the Breadman tweet?
No, yeah. So that's where we're going to start with this Breadman tweet because I had liked this a while ago. And I forgot about it, so I was looking at my liked tweets. So he posted this on December 30th. And it's a video from Warzone. It's from Breadman. He said, "Brother, what? Ranked is down horrendous." So we're going to watch this. Ready to play it?
Almost. Hold on. Okay. I want to pull up one other video. just one other little delicious tweet. And this will be Sick Game, the sequel. Okay, yes, I am ready.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, I'm at 3, 2, 1 it, okay?
All right, ready when you
Wow,
are.
he's also
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Yes, sir. All right, 3, 2. Oh, it's glitched. All right, I just dev aired or something.
Yeah, you dead.
I got kicked for inactivity, bro.
Oh no!
Keep listening.
I was playing, and I just lost 110 SR, bro.
So this is Warzone. You could not sum this game up better than this 20-second clip. I'm dead serious. He's flying to a signals intelligence contract that they're about to do the glitch so they can get 2 of them, which they've now fixed, right? So they're about to do a glitch in the game. He goes to pick up the contract. It's stuck inside of a box. He's like, oh no, it's stuck inside of a box. I can't pick it up. Keep in mind, he's running around. He's playing the game. He's parachuting. Immediately, he gets kicked for inactivity. There's another issue. Then he gets back to the main menu and he loses SR for that match.
Yeah.
So in that 20-second clip, you see 4 major issues with the game. A bugged contract, as in it was glitch and you could do double. Then the contract was stuck in a box. Then he was kicked for inactivity when he wasn't. And then he lost SR on that. Got it. In 20 seconds of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, that's funny. I laughed so hard when I saw that.
That is hilarious. Yeah. I've never been kicked for inactivity while moving before, but I know it's happened to obviously Bread Van
It's happened to
here,
me,
and
but
I
not
think
in
it's
this
happened to
game.
Jake.
I think it was Warzone 2 the last time it happened to me. There was an issue going around for a while where people would get kicked for inactivity constantly.
Yeah.
But
So-
God, that's funny, man.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. What is there to say? By the way, there are contracts that are still just inside of boxes that are unobtainable. Happened to me today.
It's just funny because we're on the same map that we were on for the last year. We still have the same contracts and things. There's still that one.
It's crazy.
There's that one duffel bag or whatever it is, that one chest in Trump Tower that's been in that pallet
every time
since Urzikstan launched. It's every single time you hear it, and it's right there, and you can't open it because it's in a pallet. It's really funny.
Very cool. Yeah. So next is, the game's just a disaster. And by the way, none of those bugs have been fixed on Friday because that was tweeted on the 30th.
The signal, well, technically the contract part was because they disabled signal intelligence to fix it. So.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah. So instead it would have been a scavenger contract bugged into the crate that was unobtainable, probably. Yeah. Okay. Fair. So this next one is from Teep. This is a 2-minute video. We don't need to watch it. I'll sum it up for you. But the tweet says, this was yesterday, by the way, after the update. So happy the Netflix Squid Game 2 update, all caps, correct capitalization. This is funny. Came out when I have played one game in 4 hours today. Now, you might be asking, what does that mean? And why is there a video attached? It is a 2-minute montage of Teep attempting to play ranked Warzone, and game after game after game after game, cheaters or whoever, bad actors, keep crashing the server so that you get no SR gains at all. And this usually happens quite late because the rats doing this are cheating. So they usually make it quite far. So they don't crash the server until they've died, obviously. So you queue for ranked, you try to get into the match. You may crash while doing that, as has been happening to me all day today. When you finally get into one, you load in. If you manage to not die to the cheaters and outlive them, this has been 30 minutes now, probably, and they crashed the server, it was all for naught. It was all for naught, all for nothing. You gained nothing. You've gained nothing. You just wasted your time. And probably didn't have fun either, by the way, because you outliving cheaters isn't fun. It's doable for really good players sometimes, but it's not fun. So then they crash the server, cool. And this is a 2-minute video montage on a single day where he plays for 4 hours, and only once can he actually complete a match of ranked Warzone, because every other time they crash the servers on him. The absolute state of this game, right? The absolute state of it. That's an insane stat, by the way. I would have given up 2 hours in max. I mean, this guy has some crazy resolve because I couldn't have done it. But I like, yeah, it's just the servers can very reliably be crashed, obviously. And I've seen it every time I watch a stream. I see it.
Yeah.
So cool. So
That seems like that's happening constantly now. Luckily,
they said soon after the holidays they're going to do server stability and consistency fix updates, whatever. They didn't.
Well, I think this would actually be tied to the Ricochet update since it's cheaters doing it. So this actually won't be fixed until season 2 or 3, I would guess, because that's when those updates are coming. Yeah.
If then, yeah, we'll see, I guess. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, next we kind of the Squid Game event that launched yesterday, or I guess this was when the blog post came out, so it was on Thursday.
I understand it now.
Big time crash out for Charlie Intel. That was the last straw for him. He was furious about this. So we're kind of just going to go through some tweets, and we have some opinions and some thoughts on some of these things. So
yeah,
he tweets $70 base game, $30 black sell per season, $20 to $30 in-game bundles, $10 base battle pass per season. There's a new $10 event pass, plus no real anti-cheat broken game. Activision have lost their minds.
Right.
So some guy was like, you are the biggest COD Twitter account and you are in contact with Activision. Get all the pissed off creators you know and call them and tell them who needs to change or what needs to change. Tweeting won't solve anything. And he said, well, we didn't get invited to the event, so we couldn't provide any feedback directly this time. I wonder if he was like left off there purposely or something, because he's been saying some things. Yeah.
And he usually gets invited. I mean,
yeah.
Pay like $1,000 a month for this Twitter account. So,
yeah. And then Ghost of Hope, you said, you really think they even give a fuck if you were invited? They don't care. They're too busy working on next year's game and shoving a bunch of microtransaction into it. Yeah. So that kind of the reason we've compiled some of these messages is also to make some of you realize who maybe aren't on Twitter or aren't as in tune with all this. You kind of just play the game and listen to our podcast. Us complaining is not out of the norm at all. People are fed up
right now.
Crazy. The people are very, very fed up right now. I mean, full on Treyarch fanboys losing their mind, calling Treyarch wash, the studio's dead. I mean, people are really losing it right now. So, just want you guys to realize that. There's also been a lot of discussion lately about Sledgehammer, because last year was good. MW3 was fine. It was multiplayer. I still think BO6 is better,
good.
But Warzone last year, definitely miles better than what we're dealing with right now. A lot. And Sledgehammer Games they did a good job last year communicating. They did a good job putting out events, seasonal camos, a bunch of things. Will we see any of that this year? Don't know. We're not seeing any of it yet. So then Charlie Intel tweeted, the Sledgehammer Games dev would listen at events and calls. There have been no calls or anything for BO6 since launch. The Squid Game thing was the first event so far. So yeah, remember how often they used to do creator calls?
Yeah, I know.
That was a big time Warzone 1 thing. Even Warzone 2, they ended up doing them, but
Warzone 2, it was the most, I think it felt like. Or it seemed like.
So there's been no calls or anything like that since the launch of BO6, not Warzone. BO6, there have been nothing. Yeah. So it kind of just gives you the sense where they don't care. Because I remember them all last year would say, got off a call with Sledgehammer. They really truly are listening to the feedback and what we tell them. They're making changes. They understand things of what needs to be changed. And then they would do it. They would tweet about it and they would do it. And they would usually get it right the first time. And some guy said they listened because they couldn't make a good game on their own, going on about the,
That's an insane take.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie says, this is a dumb tweet. Sledgehammer's game's willingness to engage with and take feedback seriously is levels above the other studios at Activision. Again, Charlie Intel was a massive Treyarch fanboy a few months ago even. They're all losing their mind, man. They've lost faith in their studio. I don't think it's the same studio it was. I mean, it's literally the two
I guess Vundy really was the glue,
two
man.
heads that were there even for Cold War, both of them were gone. I think Tony Flame was there for Cold War. I don't remember. But they're gone now. So pretty much the people running the studio are no longer there. So we're probably honestly starting to see an Infinity Ward type downfall. Because Infinity Ward was really, really good back in the day, and then all of their leads and all of their good devs left, and they went to Respawn Entertainment, and they're fucking gone. That's why Infinity Ward's a totally different studio now, and they're also horrible. So we're probably seeing the beginning of that with Treyarch too, to be honest.
It seems that way, yeah. Real quick, by the way, going back to the $70 base game, $30 black sale, blah, blah, blah. This guy replied to him and said, tweeting won't solve anything. That is not true.
Yeah.
Just real quick.
Yeah,
that is super not true. That's the only thing that's going to solve anything is very popular content creators about the game talking shit about it.
Yeah.
That will help. It does help. They do listen to that. Remember when there were going to be the loot crates in MW 2019 until it was leaked that there were going to be loot crates? And then all the content creators were so up in arms about it that they decided not to do the loot crates, for example. That was literally just because of tweeting. Tweeting does solve things. They're a company, they're trying to sell a product. If influential people, that's why they're called influencers, say something about it, that is often, though not always in Call of Duty's case, impactful.
Yeah.
And then Sledgehammer, this is interesting. Charlie Intel obviously has knowledge on this topic that we don't, because he has been in a ton of creator calls from all the dev studios. He's been around longer than we have covering, COD and stuff. And for him to say 2 days ago, Sledgehammer Games' willingness to engage with and take feedback seriously is levels above the other studios is very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I was kind of surprised by it, but after Tanner's explanation, I mean, he's right. Obviously, they're better than Infinity Ward. I can accept that out of hand because I've had the displeasure of playing Infinity Ward games lately. But better than Treyarch is kind of surprising until you think about it. Vundy did leave, and so the whole thing changed there, I guess. I remember we covered Vundy leaving, by the way. David Vunderhaar. He was the studio head of Treyarch.
Yeah.
And he's doing his own thing now. And we were like, okay, this may or may not matter. We'll see. I've now seen.
I think we're seeing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he knew AI was coming for his job, so he said, I'm out of here. See you guys.
Yeah. So that's unlucky for sure.
Yeah.
So
then moving on, another thing from Ghost of Hope. This is Treyarch, which is led by a head dev who thinks streak looping is bad. True. They're not into that anymore either. Again, this is the new Treyarch. Having fluid movement is bad and was responsible for the shitty streak system in Cold War and never changed it and admitted it was bad after game support was done. They don't care. I didn't know about that part. But I've seen him tweet that numerous times. I don't know. I played Cold War for 10 hours. You tell me. But he's talked about that a lot, about how I guess some dev admitted after that it was a bad move to do that, but they never changed it in the game's life cycle.
I forget what it even was. Yeah. I thought it was just score streaks again. But
yeah, I don't remember. But then talking about the movement thing too, how they don't want fast crouching, they want to prevent snaking and all that crap, and then the slow movement from going prone, standing back up, all that. It's you add on the movement and then you make everything else worse. Okay, you haven't created a better product, you've created a slightly different product that's worse in a lot of ways. Got it.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Charlie Intel again, it is beyond insane how Treyarch had an easy setup with MW3's community feedback going so well. True. And after a month have destroyed all of it. Just no real explanation for this disaster so soon. And now we have another full year of Treyarch followed by Infinity Ward in 2026.
Oh, that's a
if things aren't picking up by June this year, that might be it, gentlemen.
Oh, no.
Because we got a full another year of them not being able to fix the game. And then 2 years of Infinity Ward. So.
And to be clear, it is a guarantee. It's going to be a guaranteed dog shit game when Infinity Ward takes over. I promise. Nothing will get me excited for Infinity Ward's next game. Literally nothing. They suck a lot. Unless they fired the head dev and replaced him with someone else. Until then, you do not be excited. So yeah, hopefully we can squeeze in a couple months of a fun playable game before iDubbbz's title next year.
Yeah.
We'll certainly see. But yeah, pretty bad. Pretty awful.
Yeah.
And I hate it. Yeah.
And then last thing on that note, he said, it is genuinely wild to see Sledgehammer Games deliver weekly challenges with free rewards. God, we were blessed last year in Warzone, honestly. All the events and little things we had for cool camos and whatnot. Several events with free blueprints, camos, and more to earn in MW3. And now in Black Ops 6 having paid event pass, paid Black Cell XP boost, and paid Black Cell bonuses in events.
Yep.
And these tweets during his crash out, by the way, he was getting a ton of impressions on these, a lot of likes, impressions. I mean, the first one we read about like $70 game, $30 Black Cell, Activision have lost their minds. That tweet, when I screenshotted this earlier, had 1.9 million impressions, 35,000 likes. 35,000 likes on a Charlie Intel tweet is way, way, way above normal. So people are absolutely fed up right now. It's not just us. It's not even close to being just us.
Oh yeah, no, it's everyone. Like everyone who's trying to play the game. Yeah.
So so that was all on Thursday, and then the final part of the crash out was basically yesterday when the event was going live. Charlie Intel says this is after the patch notes went live. He says no server updates, no anti-cheat fixes, no weapon balance. God, I swear to God, I forgot about weapon balancing.
Yeah.
Because there are so many other issues.
Too.
I didn't even think about it when I went through those patch notes until I just read this. Ranked plays full of hackers, new playlist broken. The update basically shoved in more microtransaction into the game. What a mess.
I also forgot about weapon balance. Boy, wouldn't have that been nice.
Yeah.
We've had the exact same meta since the day one of the integration.
I'm not so mad about
2 full months.
I'm not so mad about having the same gun meta for 2 months. That doesn't bug me at all. It's just more like, dude, gut the 100-round mag at least. Just gut it. Like, decrease your movement speed by like 20%. Because I mean, people want weapon balancing, in my opinion, like too often. 2 months is a fine period of time for weapon balancing, I think. For a meta, that's totally fine.
Well, 2 months so far, first of all, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I think it's a little long. I'd like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
But especially with how insane the M4 is. Yeah. I mean, we can all agree on that for sure.
It's just like, historically, we don't get it that often.
Yeah, you're right. No, we don't. Yeah, when like last year, we did get like the prestige camos in Warzone. I wonder if those are coming back. Those were actually quite cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was going to start roasting them for not bringing that back, but I think those started in season 2 or 3, so they still have some time for that.
They started pretty late.
That I wouldn't expect in season 1, maybe going into season 2, but if we see nothing like that going into season 2, and certainly not by season 2 reloaded, that's a bad look.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. It's like they don't have.
Everything
they're not going to have.
last year.
They're just not going to have time to do anything now, because they're backtracking to fix every aspect of the game that's broken.
Very far behind. Yeah, and yeah, comparing it to last year, it is pretty dire. It's pretty bleak, because there were obviously problems last year. Namely, as fucking always, cheaters. Lots of cheaters last year. Still, and audio was not great most of the time, although it was sometimes. Visibility inside of buildings was pretty bad on Rebirth, but not really on Big Map. And we didn't have Big Map ranked, although it wouldn't have mattered, turns out. I've now learned that, because there is no anti-cheat, so it just doesn't matter. But besides all those things, which is a lot, the game was functional most of the time. Like, there were some bad design decisions that obviously we didn't love, including, you know, some way too easy to use strong guns, etc. But things functioned a lot, and we did get a lot of little treats, often little treats, like cool little LTMs that actually worked, you know, the little holiday events that actually worked. And we did get way more weapon balancing last year, by the way. Maybe the meta didn't shift all the time, like Tanner was saying, like the metas would last about 2 months. I don't know exactly if that's true. It definitely was at some portions. Like some guns were definitely meta for 2 months, if not longer. Like I want to say the static was meta for even longer than that. But at least there was weapon balancing pretty often. So even when the static was meta, let's say it was meta for 3 months, it wouldn't be the same static that was meta on day one as it was on its final day, because they had been doing a bunch of changes to it. So it's like, yeah, the static's still the meta gun, but they've nerfed it like 3 times. They didn't gut it, which is good. And now you can use other guns. Like we were using the Striker at one point, which was absolutely competitive with the static because its time to kill was better and it had a longer first damage range. The problem was it didn't have as fast of a fire rate. So it was just kind of like a pick and choose thing. And that's a result of them having done fairly frequent weapon balancing last year at times, or at least more frequently than now, because now, when is the last time, I'm sorry, have we ever gotten weapon balancing yet on a BO6 gun in Warzone?
Yeah, they've done a few things.
To what?
Guns that didn't matter. I feel like we've seen balancing to some things. We had the visual recoil reduction, which you can kind of toss that into weapon balancing.
Yeah, I suppose.
But yeah, it's not most of the big guns. Yeah, you're right. I can't think of any.
Yeah, I can't either. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's looking bleak, as we said. So, okay. So next tweet here is from Parasite. He is a former CDL player.
Yeah,
I think.
Yep.
And he still plays a lot. He plays like ranked multiplayer ladder. He tweeted this yesterday. COD has got to retire this holiday break they go on for like a month and change it to a couple days. Gee whiz. Okay. The current state of the game is putrid.
Gee whiz is funny.
Who seems to be having fun is Colt, and I do know who that is.
Yeah, you do. Dude. Watching you read Gee whiz was funny. We might have to add that in, a little Gee whiz. Fuck, that's funny.
Gee whiz,
that's so funny to see typed out. I don't think I've ever seen Gee whiz typed out. God, that's funny.
That's a crazy com.
But yeah, clearly they're not. Why do they get so much time off though? Seriously, don't give them time off. God, it pisses me off. What do game devs need like 3 weeks in a row off for? Fuck you. It's your job. Everyone else has a job too. Fuck, man.
Yeah. Get Christmas Day off. Christmas Eve also, if the game is fun before you leave, which it wasn't this year.
You can get,
and that's it.
You can get off early. We're not giving you Christmas Eve off. You can get off early. You can get off early. You can get Christmas Day off. And you know what? You can even get the day off after off, because it's not fun going back to work the next morning after Christmas. So you get 2.5 days off. You're back to fucking work after that, though.
Yeah.
New Year's, you get off early the 31st. You're off the 1st. You're back in the office. That's it. Why do they leave like December 16th and then come back like January 5th or something? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
They don't deserve it, especially not this year.
Yeah.
Just kind of some other funny things I found here too. Ghost of Hope says Treyarch has just as much of an ego as Infinity Ward, in case it wasn't obvious by now. I don't expect much to change with the current game at all when they're basically all working on the next game now. Sad how much potential and goodwill with the community they squandered. So these tweets are interesting to see, but my thing is, people like him generally are talking about multiplayer. So what are the main multiplayer issues people are complaining about? That's what I don't know, because I don't play enough multiplayer. I feel like I'm out of the loop. It seems fine to me.
Yeah.
So the cheaters, strong hate against multiplayer, that part's a little surprising to me. But clearly, as much as people want to say Warzone is Raven, Warzone this year, Treyarch is definitely very involved, and it's obvious. Because, I mean, just look at the hit reds. Just try to shoot somebody one time, and you can tell Treyarch's involved at all, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, for the multiplayer stuff, I don't fully understand that. I wish they would explain it more.
Was developed from the ground up by Treyarch, and I won't be told of. Especially.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Ghost of Hope, I mean, he vacillates between being based and an utter retard very often, by the way. And it's weird to say Treyarch has an ego. Like, I mean...
Well, I think he's saying because, like, they won't change things that people want.
Yeah, I know. I get what he's trying to say, but it's that phrasing bugs me.
Yeah,
like, like, oh, they have too much of an ego. It's I don't know. That just annoyed
me. That's basically...
They aren't unresponsive to feedback. I'll give you that for sure. Clearly.
That kind of actually makes sense to call it an ego when it comes to Infinity Ward, though, because they're the ones that are like, yeah, no, we know what you guys said in the beta and you liked it, but we're not doing that. So that sucks for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just some other, again, random things just to kind of show that it's not just us. Just random, all these Charlie Intel tweets and like Ghost of Hope tweets, people were saying they were hating on all of it. Treyarch used to be my favorite studio. Now I don't know anymore. Some other guy was like, apparently Vonderhaar was really holding the whole ship together. So there seems to be a Treyarch crash out going on. Yeah, people are very fed up. So it's going to be interesting to see how this year ends. If they're still on top, if people still hold that same opinion they've held for years.
Yeah. Very interesting. And breaking news, continuing the Charlie Intel crash out. The owner of Charlie Intel, or the guy that runs it, I don't know the details, but Keshav tweeted from his personal account today, 5 hours ago. Definitely considering covering more games on Charlie Intel this year to test the waters on what content people also are interested. Adjacent games like Marvel Rivals, Battlefield, GTA, and Fortnite, and C. Call of Duty being a mess won't be fun to cover for months. So definitely bring a writer with you if you do that. But
yeah, there are a lot of mistakes in that one tweet.
Just every time he types,
he must be fucking hammered.
I mean, yeah, Activision would drive me to the and has driven me to the bottle very often. But yeah, just extra crash out there.
Damn, is this a little stab at Ebates? Because he tweeted that and then Ebates responded to that and said, "You can start with my streams. Appreciate it, man." Like saying you can cover my streams. And then Kashav said, "You got it. Say some truth about COD and I'll tweet." Oh no, is he poking fun at Ebates because he's a little fucking rat? Oh, that's funny, man. Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah, everyone knows Ebates a dirty rat. But yeah, so the TLDR is I've hardly seen Treyarch hate. We've never seen it. Well, we've seen Treyarch hate before, but not like this. There's hatred towards them certain times, like people act like they hated BO4. Some people didn't like Cold War. And then after that, everyone's like, "Oh, Treyarch, come save us, come save us." So, well, hey, you haven't liked the last 2 games they've made. So you haven't liked the game they made that you thought was good for like fucking 8 years. So what are you saying, Treyarch on top? It's been a long ass time since they made a game you liked. So maybe we should just end that. So maybe this is going to finally be the nail in the coffin for that. We won't be seeing those tweets anymore. Because I've never seen this much hatred towards Treyarch since we started the pod.
I'm with you.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I don't understand the Treyarch hate if you don't play Warzone. Because, well, I do if you're a ranked multiplayer player, but that's always been infested with cheaters. That's not...
Maybe multiplayer is more buggy than we realize.
Fault. It must be, but it's weird because I've played quite a bit of multiplayer, not super recently, but it worked pretty well. I don't know. I mean, it is strange. It is strange. But I do think you can blame Treyarch for a lot of what's going on with Warzone for sure. I don't know how or why, but Treyarch's mark is obvious on Warzone. It's obvious because of the servers and because it integrated with BO6. So like obviously Treyarch's little fingerprints are all over it, and that's part of the problem. But I wouldn't place all of the blame on Treyarch squarely for Warzone. You can for multiplayer for sure, but again, I don't think multiplayer is that buggy, at least in my experience. I don't know. So it is weird, but whatever. And then another tweet here to kind of cap this off. It's from Charlie Intel yesterday. Call of Duty on Steam has lost all of the players it gained with the launch of BO6 over the course of just 1 month. 148,000 players were gained for Black Ops 6's launch period in October/November, because it launched in late October. We are now down 145,000, which is virtually all of them, in December. Yikes. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Is it unprecedented?
That's not a great look.
I don't know if it's unprecedented. That it might have looked this bad during Warzone 2 and MW 2. I don't know if it did, but it might have. But besides that, this is by far the worst outside of that. And it even still might be worse than that too. But it has not been long since BO6 launched, by the way. It's been 2 months, and we just had Christmas, which is when you normally get a ton of new players because a ton of 12-year-olds get the game for Christmas. That's the Christmas noobs thing that everyone always talks about. There's a reason people say that. It's a real thing. And even despite that bump you would expect to see, you didn't see a bump at all, actually. You've lost 145,000 players in December. Now, but this is only Steam. Okay, but it's a perfectly serviceable benchmark for every other platform, obviously. So that's really bad and not surprising. And this is actually, in my opinion, the silver lining. Because something we've said, we've been doing this podcast a long time now, is to abandon hope and just surrender to the game being in whatever state it's in, because it's never going to change. That has been our motto for 5 years. Because all Activision and Call of Duty cares about is money, getting paid. And if they're still selling a ton of games every year, and they're still making $3 million per day or something in microtransactions per day, then they do not give a singular solitary fuck about you, your bitching, your complaining, or your valid concerns, or encounters with cheaters or bugs day in and day out. However, in this case, I think it is in fact so fucking bad right now that their bottom line actually is being impacted a lot. And that's actually a good thing if true. Now, obviously, they're not, going bankrupt anytime soon. They still made quite a bit of money selling the game. They still are probably making a good amount of money on microtransactions. However, they're probably making a lot less than they projected to, or a lot less than they are happy with. And that is the only point at which you can expect meaningful changes to come to the game. And that's a good thing. Now, am I coping? Maybe. It's possible. And again, I don't have the financials, obviously. But if it is the case that they are losing a lot of money, neglecting to gain as much money right now as they expected to, because the state of the game is so piss poor. At that point, I think it is very probable that the game actually does improve in meaningful ways that we will care about, which is a good thing. I don't know, but it seems that way.
Yeah.
Because you can only lose so many players until something's got to give. And they're losing a lot right now. So hopefully it's gotten so bad that they are now forced to change something. It's like when you have not that I've had this because I've lived a charmed life, but some whatever friend or family member who's like a drug addict. And you know how they always say like, oh, you got to let him hit rock bottom. You got to let him hit rock bottom. He's not going to get better until he hits rock bottom. We, ladies and gentlemen, we may have in fact hit rock bottom. If not yet, we're getting fucking close if we maintain this trajectory. And that's a good thing. Because if you don't die at rock bottom, then you get into fucking rehab and you start to get better. And in this analogy, what that means, for example, is I'll finally be able to res my fucking teammates. Or I'll finally be able to simply connect to the game. Or I will now always have a gun in my hands in the first-person shooter game, and I'll be able to pick up other guns as some examples, as just a few. So we'll see. Hopefully we're at rock bottom. But if not, it's going to have to get worse before it gets better.
We're going to relapse again in 2026.
And then we are going to go back to Skid Row, buy a bag of Fent off the corner, and bang it into our veins Infinity Ward style. Yeah. And it's all going to spiral once again. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they use, like, he's showing peak players. I don't think that's the best metric to use. I think average players is the better metric to go by. Because peak, I mean, there's so many people that don't play COD and we're never going to stick around that, you know, played it for a short period of time, because that's what he's measuring here. I mean, obviously, like, average players and everything is way down, but that seems about
true.
About like what happens every single year, because there are people who just don't like COD, that they're not going to play it long. They get it because it's a new game, they play it, they don't like it. So like for reference, right now, the last 30 days, Call of Duty on Steam, which is the smallest platform definitely by far, 88,000 average players. So let's take like last summer, for example, during MW3, like June of last year, the average player count was 75,000.
What about December of 2023?
December of 2023 average was 103,000.
Which is more than now.
And then the next month, by January, it dropped to what we're at now, 89,000.
Okay. Interesting.
So during Warzone 2, that was the lowest of the lows for sure. We had a month, July of 2023, where the average player count was 60,000 players, and the peak...
Oh, wow.
The peak was 86,000. Our peak in the last 30 days right now is double that still. So we're not even close to being low like the levels of Warzone 2. Bad. But also, Warzone might be, because again, this is Call of Duty. There are definitely more people playing multiplayer this year than probably the last 2 years. So a lot of these players are probably more on multiplayer. If you could separate the Warzone numbers would be down a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah. And also keep in mind, like, oh yeah, okay, so Warzone 2's numbers were worse, whatever, in July than they probably on Steam, than they probably will be this year on Steam. However, that kind of was a rock bottom moment, because look how different Warzone 2 was from launch till on its last day. And how much different Warzone became after Warzone 2 integrated with MW3 and went back to just being called Warzone. It was a ton of dramatic changes.
Yeah.
Dramatic changes. No more AI. No more strongholds. Back to being able to, like, whatever, buy loadouts and pick your fucking perks. Like, that was a good idea to ever have gotten rid of. No more jailer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can sprint while plating. You can move your character at a speed. So that kind of was a rock bottom moment. So if it does get that bad again, then we can expect... hopefully, drastic, meaningful overhauls to the game. But it's also different than Warzone 2 because it's where the analogy or the comparison falls apart, because Warzone 2 was really fucking dog shit because of a ton of terrible ideas. Just a lot of really bad ideas.
Yeah.
But this game is terrible, not because of bad ideas, but because of they can't do anything. They can't implement anything. They have good ideas that they can't put into the game. I mean, they've tried fucking 5 times to let me buy a gun for an amount of money. To this day, it doesn't work. I still can't buy a 5 attachment blueprint gun for the amount of money they want me to be able to buy it for. So it's not like bad decision making this year like it was with Warzone 2. It is just gross incompetence at developing video games.
Yeah.
So it's a different problem, but it results in something almost or worse as bad, depending on the game I play. When I can't connect, it's worse than Warzone 2, because at least I could play that game and then laugh at how bad it is. But also, when I dodge bugs, like walking through a landmine, and get lots and lots of kills, way better than Warzone 2. I think the highs of Warzone right now, for me, and I'm not the best person to use because I'm on controller now, so of course the game is way more fun because this game is built for controller. Get on controller. The highs are way higher in this game than they ever were for me in Warzone 2. However, I'm very confident in saying this. The lows of this game already are lower than Warzone 2. I never expected to have fun in Warzone 2, so when the game was fucking ass, I wasn't that upset about it.
That game was
I went in
DOA.
knowing it was going to be, yeah, exactly.
Completely
I went
DOA.
into this knowing it's not going to be fun. It's like you have to go to a funeral and you make the best of it because you're going to get to see your cousin that you haven't seen in a while that you like. It's like, okay, this shit sucks, but like whatever. Maybe it'll be cool to see him for a second or something. Yeah. But with this game, it's like you go to a party and the possibilities are limitless. It could be the best party you've ever went to. You get a suck job, whatever. Or it can be you get jumped when you walk in the front door ruthlessly and robbed. That's this game. So the highs are higher and the lows are also lower. And it's abusive. It's abusive. The game abuses me. I'm being abused by Activision. If there are any lawyers, shout out Face Esquire, please help me file a class action lawsuit for emotional damages. Yeah. We can win in court. I promise you. You can't. Yeah. Anyway. So go ahead.
No, you finish.
Well, I was going to move on to this next thing, which is my question is what the fuck is going on? And the only answer I might have is that something has gone awry with Microsoft acquiring Activision. Because the game is never. I now refuse to equivocate about this. The game Warzone has never been this buggy before. Period. It hasn't been. It might have been worse during Warzone 2, but not because Warzone 2 was much more buggy than this. It's just never been, especially for this long. And they can't fix anything. They've tried to fix everything multiple times. Quick fix, buying guns. I'm sure I can think of more. So why? What's happening? Because again, with Warzone 2, it was bad and buggy, but it wasn't this fucking buggy. And when they tried to fix something, they generally did it at least on attempt number 2. But we're on attempt 3 and 4 for multiple things now, and they still can't fix it. What's going on? What's happening? I don't know what's happening. The only explanation I have is the Microsoft Activision fucked something. I don't know what. I don't know how. I am not, I've never been a C-suite executive before of a company, so I don't know how mergers and acquisitions work. But something with that, I think, must have fucked something else up. I don't know if they did. I don't know what they did.
Microsoft ruined COD.
Many dev teams on two other people or whatever. I don't know, but there is no other explanation because even Infinity Ward isn't this bad at like fixing bugs or having a buggy. Well, hold on.
Here it is.
Let me pedal that one back. Infinity Ward's bad at everything, so maybe as bad, but boy, is it rough right now, and I don't understand it, and I have to blame Activision. That's the only logical explanation. It's the only thing that's meaningfully changed. Because we've cycled dev studios before. We've done integrations before. We've had different devs take over Warzone or whatever game mode before. And it's always rough every single fucking time, which is why we need to stop doing integrations. Fair. But it's never been this rough. Maybe excepting the very first integration. Even that, I don't think, was as rough as this. So, and I have to think it's Microsoft's acquisition. I don't know what else it could be. Am I crazy?
Yeah. Or they're trying to do too much with maybe Verdansk is taking a lot more resource. I don't know. As much as I hate to say it, maybe they needed those devs, man, that they've now fired. Because what has changed behind the scenes?
Well, they fired QA, right?
Well, they fired a lot of devs too. They fired a lot of devs. So they fired devs and Microsoft bought them. Microsoft was supposed to save them. Then remember they came in and laid them off, which I thought was hilarious because all of them wanted to be purchased by Microsoft, and then Microsoft comes in and they say, "See ya," and they just fire everybody. So it's got to be something to do with the Microsoft acquisition. It has to. I mean, they've shown they can fix bugs. They did it last year, fine. I don't know, man. On the time played thing, Charlie Until did tweet on December 30th. Call of Duty was the most played game on PS5 and Xbox Series XS in the US for the week ending in December 21st. Oh, this was during the Black Ops 6 free trial, though, too.
And COD is on Game Pass now, so
that's the other thing.
Also going to inflate a lot of numbers. A lot.
It's going to really inflate. Yeah, this is time played. Yeah. So, and then I didn't see the free trial part. It was number 6 on Steam in that same period. So it was beaten by Baltaro.
Baldur's Gate.
No.
Oh.
What the fuck is that? Okay. Marvel Rivals, Helldivers, Path of Exile, Counter-Strike.
Baltario or whatever.
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
I think
honestly,
when you Microsoft thing,
when you look at average player counts, it seems to be just normal. This is what happens. The game's inflated early on. Bunch of people buy it. Bunch of people play it. They get fucking mad. And they say, I don't know why I bought this. I absolutely hate this game and I forgot. I'm never playing COD. And then they again buy it a year later. So, because, like the average players also went up last year from Warzone 2. So like last summer, we had on average in Call of Duty like $10,000 to $15,000, $10,000 to 15,000 more people online at one time in MW3 Warzone than Warzone 2 era. So you kind of gained some popularity there, you know. But it's the interesting thing is looking at the Warzone 2 peak players to start to where it ended. The peak was at 488,000, which is way higher than the BO6 peak. The BO6 peak on Steam is 313,000 when it first launched. Warzone 2, this is how badly Infinity Ward fucked up. Almost 500,000 concurrent on Steam.
That's insane.
By the end of the game's life cycle, the peak players in the last month, 88,000. So 400,000 players down when looking at it that way.
That's crazy. Whereas
the difference in like MW3 last year was 190,000, ending with at 157,000. Mm-hmm. So a drop off of 40,000 versus 400,000 during Infinity Ward's game.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously still a very, very popular game, but there's undoubtedly lots of players, thousands of players being lost because of the state of the game. And that's the frustrating thing, is because most of those players don't end up coming back until the next game's life cycle. There are too many other 100%. Popular games right now that are taken off. Like Marvel Rivals. People are playing other things now. They said, fuck, COD is a disaster. I'm going to go play something else for 2 weeks. They get addicted to a different game and realize, I like this game a lot better. And then they don't buy COD again until the next year. And then they go through the same cycle. Because they can't launch a game that works, especially not this year.
Yep. That's all totally true. Yeah. And yeah, like Jakin's saying, they're trying, all paraphrasing, they're trying to do too much this time, which is why the game is so bad. That's obviously true. They are trying to do too much. However, when have they not tried to do too much in the last 5 years? They're fucking always trying to do too much. DMZ, zombies, fucking campaigns, spec ops missions, working on the next game, working on the next new map, working on this new map. They are, I agree, they are trying to do too much. They're trying to do Avalon. They're trying to do fucking Verdansk.
Yeah,
they're undoubtedly working on next year's title. And all of that on top of trying to patch together this game. Yeah, it is too much, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always trying to do too much. And the game has virtually never been this buggy, at least on the Warzone end. So there is still something missing there. Because, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, it's so frustrating because oftentimes, that's why I've been playing a ton. Because it's fun when it works. But then it doesn't, and it bothers me. And it's just dumb shit. That should be so easy to fix. They don't have to do that much, honestly, to make the game like 9 out of 10 in Warzone. I'm not kidding. They don't have to do that much. And none of it has to do, honestly, with design choices.
No, it's bugs and lighting and stuff like that.
It's fucking bugs, man.
Yeah.
It's all fucking bugs. And that's the dumbest shit. That's the dumbest fucking reason for a game to be bad when you have this many resources. Like, oh, the game's bad because it's really buggy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if I'm playing Farm Simulator, I can buy that. But when it's this game, it's like, oh, if it worked well, this would be like really, really awesome, but it just doesn't. They can't fix any bugs. Oh, what indie studio is this you're talking about? Oh, Activision fucking Publishing. They make billions of dollars. Huh? How do we have a game this buggy with this many resources? It just boggles. It blows my mind. It bothers me also. So, I don't know. Anyway. I think that's about it for me, bud.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Season 2 will save Warzone.
That's what they're saying, yeah. And by the way, we haven't talked much about it. All of this is not to mention cheaters. Like, all of it's not to mention cheaters, of which there are plenty. I would love to be playing, I'm not joking, I would love to be playing Ranked Big Map right now. I was very excited for Ranked Big Map like a fucking retard bitch. But it's unplayable. It's even buggier than Publix, first of all. And there are literally cheaters in every single game. Up to and including crashing the server. So even if you think you could kill the cheaters, you're not good enough to, probably. But whatever, you get lucky once in a blue moon, they'll just crash the server on you.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, so they have so much work to do. They have so much work to do. And we are going to be playing catch up the entire year, 100%. Like we always do with COD games, that's going to be especially true this year. Because the list of bug fixes they have to do before Season 2 to even be caught up is untenable. They don't have the resources to do it. Even if they were a good dev studio, there's too much to do.
Yeah.
So given that they're not a good dev studio or collection of dev studios, they have infinite to do. Scrap this shit, start over, and give me a working fucking game next year, I guess. Oh, wait, it'll be Infinity Ward. Activision devs do not play their own game. Plus, we'll be back next week. Hopefully a normal schedule, by the way. Tanner's rebuilding, so.
The game sucks.
Okay.